can't flex for this one. I flexed for the last one, but I'm wearing a sweatshirt, so I got nothing. I'll stare deadpan at the camera. Oh, we're ready to go. Okay. Sorry, guys. Maybe I'll do the next one in like a thong or something. I won't do that. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, what's up?
Awesome. I appreciate your patience. Let me get everything pulled up in my end here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll have this recorded and I'll have this uploaded and sent to you tomorrow. If that works for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Okay. So, what got you interested in coaching?
I think just so as I put on my form, I used to be a Valorant player, switched to Overwatch. And I was just looking, like I joined my collegiate team's hitscan DPS, and so I was just looking for different like educational content on YouTube, and I stumbled upon your stuff. So I've kind of found you through YouTube and TikTok and whatnot. So, and I've gotten coaching in like Valorant and stuff because I was like T3 in Valorant and collegiate player. So like I had experience in getting coached, so I thought it was a good idea.
Sure. So why did you make that transition?
So I spent like 2 years building that team, and then like all my friends and stuff that I had like put on the team, like helped the coach pick to put on the team, all like either graduated or quit. And I still had like a lot of friends on our Overwatch team because the program is like super close. And they like jokingly bet, they're like, "Yo, you won't learn Overwatch," because they only had one player graduate and he was the hitscan DPS. So I was like, "All right, bet." So I learned Overwatch, switched, and now here we are.
Nice. Are you enjoying it? I assume so.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay. It's very different. I'm realizing now that it's like there's definitely a lot of similarities. I think just because it's a team-based game.
Yeah.
But like as a hitscan DPS player, especially one with like a very minute role in the comms, just because that's how our team has played out. It's very different switching from being a flex initiator player in Valorant as an IGL to switching to hitscan DPS.
Now you swapped the hitscan because that's what the team needed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are you enjoying the role? It's obviously more supportive, and now you're like, I never described myself as super mechanically good, and then now I'm playing the mechanically good role.
Yeah. I've tried other roles. Like I used to play, so I played some Overwatch 1 on like PS4, and I think I got to like Diamond, but that's on PS4 in Overwatch 1. So like I don't know. But I played a lot of like Hog back then. Yeah. And I still kind of like Hog, and some of the other tanks are okay. But like I don't like playing Genji, I don't like playing Hanzo, I don't like playing Echo. I especially like the hit scans, like just anyway. Just I don't know why. Just Soldier, like it just feels rewarding to me.
Sure.
I think Soldier, Sojourn, Widow.
Yeah, makes sense. I guess for you the question is going to be a little bit of like, what are the hit scans that you're currently playing for the team? Because you have like hit scan is a broad brush, right?
Yeah.
So what do you what role are you filling with the team right now?
So 90% of it is Sojourn, specifically inside of like ROM brawls right now, or spam comps on some maps. But a lot of the times we're playing poke. I'm playing Widow because I also like Widow.
Yep. Okay, makes sense. I think for you it's like it's going to be kind of that weird balance between where you're playing 90% Sojourn, but then you're playing other stuff in ranked. So what is your ranked philosophy when it comes to picking?
In ranked, like I don't know, going back to like Valorant, I've gone through the whole phase of, oh, I'm just gonna try to carry my team, and it like I don't know if it even works for some people, but I don't think it works for me at least at all. So like I kind of just lean more into, okay, I'm gonna play around what my team's doing.
Sure.
And try to fill around that for whatever we need.
Sure. How long have you been playing Overwatch?
I've been playing it seriously since like June. But like I've been playing it casually since like 2017.
Okay, makes sense. But seriously since June. Okay. Yeah. That might not be a bad idea just for the short term, just to kind of like get a better idea.
Yeah, but I'm not playing like Genji if we need Genji. Like I'm
Right,
usually
just
like
the
if
hit
I need a
scans.
dive character, I'm usually playing like Tracer or something that I'll actually play.
Right. I guess for me that's the real question is it's like um as long as you are getting some mechanical reps of the characters that you're playing in scrims, then you should be okay. My concern
Yeah.
would be that if you were like, how often do you guys scrimmage?
Twice a week.
Okay, twice a week. So you would, let's say that you want to do like level up your Sojourn mechanics and like your CD usage and stuff like that. You would need to be playing a pretty good amount of Sojourn in ranked too. And I know
Yeah.
that's like a little bit dull, but at least getting in like, let's say 30-40% of your ranked hours in Sojourn, just so that because you're only scrimming twice a week with that character, you need to try and get extra mechanical practice outside of that as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously if we swap to a Tracer meta or a Sombra meta or a Widow meta or a Hanzo meta or a Cassidy meta or a fill in the blank meta, right? You'd want to have your ranked hours mirror your scrim hours a little bit. Now, I'm sure you're sick of playing the character to some extent, but do try to get some extra practice in. Because I know some people that like, they'll play, I'm for my team, I fill this role, but when I play ranked, I just play whatever. And they never stand out mechanically on those characters. Like you
Yeah.
do need extra rank practice, at least just to get comfortable with how the character feels. You don't need to be studying the macro or the advanced stuff. Just get good with the character mechanically, right?
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind. Okay, so you play around Overwatch 2 hours on light days, generally 4 to 6 hours on normal days. Now, how does that structure usually go? Is a light day like once, twice, 3 times a week? Are the 4 to 6 hours your scrim days? How does it go?
So, 4 to 6 hours, I would say, is like just any like. So when I say normal day, that's like if I sit down to play Overwatch, like I'm playing for a long time. But when I say light day, that's like if I don't feel like playing that day, like that's usually the minimum I'll do is like an hour or two,
Yeah,
just as
okay.
like maintenance mostly.
Sure. How often does that usually happen though per week?
Probably once or twice a week.
Okay. And then your scrim days are generally your longer days, or does it?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I would say that's a pretty good structure. I mean, 4 to 6 hours is a long time. Is that all ranked plus scrim?
Not all of it, but like most of it, yeah.
Okay. How does that usually structure? Is it scrim first and ranked after, or ranked then scrim then ranked, or then ranked all ranked first
It's
then scrim at the end?
it usually starts with I do like the I forget what the code is, but it's like the aim training code on Lijiang Tower where like all the characters do like the arcs.
Yeah. I
I
don't
just
remember what it's
like I
called.
just yeah, I just warm up like hand-eye coordination on that and then I do Vaxta. That usually takes me like 30 minutes or so,
Okay.
maybe 45 if I'm feeling bad. And
Okay.
then I'll play ranked until scrims.
Okay. How long has you been doing that warm up routine?
Um, Probably the last 4 months or so.
Okay. Um, Something to consider at this point in time is you might want to play your longer warm-ups by ear. Here's what I'll say. I think it's really common for like hit scan players, especially to kind of get the aim
Yeah.
mindset. But as you can probably tell, Overwatch is really dynamic in that aspect, where the aim, even if you have a code like Vaxta, which I think is really good for hit scan, it can be abused, and there could be a real inefficiency of time spent. So I don't think 30 minutes is too long necessarily, but I would not necessarily say that you'd have to warm up 30 minutes if you feel like you're warmer sooner than that. Let's put it that way.
That's fair.
And then you can get in an extra half of a ranked game or whatever. And then I'd also say that be careful about playing too many hours of rank before your scrimmage as well. Generally, scrimmage is going to be where you want to have the most energy. Now, I don't know how late you guys scrimmage, so it might not be reasonable for you to play ranked after scrim. But what I would generally recommend is at the very least, here's what I would do. I would not play more than 2 hours of ranked before you scrimmage.
Yeah, it's usually not more than like an hour.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you play ranked after scrim for the 6 hour days, or what?
If I have time.
Okay.
But usually scrims go till like 9 p.m., so sometimes I'm tired after that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Because you scared me when you're like, I warm up for 30 minutes and I play ranked, and then I play ranked until scrim, and I'm like, wait, did you just play 4 hours of ranked?
No, it's like I start warming up at like 5:30 and scrims are at 7, so it's like.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's actually almost perfect then. So okay, we're good. As long as you have like that cusp of like the 3 to 4 hour mark is when you're getting your scrim done, because that's your most important time of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
You should have enough energy for that. Alrighty. Okay. And then make sure that you're taking breaks as well. Even between cues, just get up, move around. I assume that you guys have like a 5-minute break, but halfway through the scrimmage as well. Really make sure that you're getting away from your computer as much as you possibly can. Like just sustain yourself energy-wise, focus-wise for as long as you possibly can. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. I think routine is really important for you, especially considering like how seriously you're applying yourself right now.
Yeah.
Long-term goals, top 500. Current goals is to be the absolute best I can be from day to day. Tomorrow I want to be better than I am today. Next week I want to be better than I am this week. Perfect. Set goals, rest, take breaks, keep yourself focused, and go. Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? I would say definitely my understanding. That makes sense. But probably also some mentality and occasionally mechanics. So mechanics, I think with what you're doing right now, as long as you're being wise with not abusing warm-up too much, I would say you're at a point in time where even like the Lijiang tower code is probably worthless. If you want to just like rely on Vaxta, Aim Arena is another good one. Or just try hard free for all deathmatch, or just deathmatch in general, or just ranked. I think it's going to be where you're going to get your best mechanical practice. But mechanics are just going to come with time. Yeah. Understanding. Now, we'll talk about this in the review, I'm sure, but is there anything particular that you feel like you're lacking in terms of understanding? Like what is, when you say understanding, is there anything that comes to mind, or is it just like, I'm not really sure?
Yeah, so I had like a one-on-one with this Sojourn one trick yesterday, and I kind of asked him about some of it, but then we scrimmed, and I was still like confused. It's like when I'm playing like Sojourn into like a Queen comp, it feels really tough to like do anything because I can't necessarily off angle because they're just waiting for that. I feel like for the most part, they're waiting for someone to split. So it's then I like know I have to stack more often than not, but it just feels like I can't really do anything then. So like it just feels uncomfortable because I don't understand it.
Sure. We'll take a look at that. Do you have a scrim code to look at?
I do. Hold on.
Okay. No rush right now. I just want to see because that particular question I'd like to look at. Okay. Anything else understanding that comes to mind?
No. I don't think I have a Queen scrim code.
That's fine.
Because we played a team that was doing a lot of ROM brawl stuff.
That's fine.
And we kind of got rolled because this team posted for like 4.2 and so we're like, okay, bet, because we scrim 4.2. Yeah. And then we get in there and they're all like high GM, top 500. Sure. And we still played it because it's like, whatever, we can get our ass kicked. That's fine. But I honestly played pretty poorly, I think. Okay. So, kind of sad. We'll start with this one. This is the best map, I think.
Sure. I got one more question for you. When you say your mentality, what in regards to mentality do you feel like you're struggling with?
So basically, just what I just said.
Okay.
Like knowing. So, I guess it's hard. We might look at this circuit code where I'm playing Widow, and it's hard because like. I think I get into my head a lot when I'm playing against better opponents, which I like know I'm not supposed to be doing.
Why?
But it's because it distracts me and makes me inefficient.
Sure.
And then I play worse. I think like I make worse decisions or I make decisions slower. So
how are you supposed to fight that? Like what's the solution though? What have you tried? Have you tried anything?
I can't really think of anything like off the top of my head like that objectively has worked. But like in Valorant, I dealt with it a lot because in Valorant it's like you either like get one tapped or you one tap. Like so like with that, it was just forcing myself to be confident, like regardless of what is happening. But I don't know what like the objective answer is here.
Okay. What I would say is that your goal needs to be like to be more than anything else, just to kind of like, for lack of a better term, experiment with what works with you. Because we're gonna talk about like, okay, when I get in my own head over this kind of thing, like what works best for me. I can give you some tips. I'd say, making sure that you're sleeping the night before, setting goals for yourself, reminding yourself that, like you were saying here, like we're gonna get our tails kicked. I'm not gonna be scared of making mistakes. I'm gonna get the most out of this tail kicking that I possibly can. If I'm scared, then I don't learn anything. right? So even if I'm not feeling it or I'm looking stupid, that's fine. You have to be comfortable with letting yourself look stupid. You have to be comfortable with yourself being bad sometimes to not be bad, right?
Yeah.
And then even making sure that, you're taking those emotional releases, for lack of a better term, like taking that 5-minute break. Scrim starts to go bad, get up 5 minutes, move around, let's go. You got to shake it off. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and stare at your computer screen and wallow in it, right? Getting in the habit to do just small things like that. It's not like everything's going to be night and day, because first off, it's not going to be night and day. And second off, it's a skill that you need to practice. My point is, all that being said, you're going to run into problems like this, or maybe of a totally different variety at some point again in your career, right? And you're going to run into it again, you're going to run into it again, run into it again. And I'll always be around to answer those questions, but you're going to need to be able to have the initiative to try things, right? Leaving just little adjustments and making yourself a better athlete, because that's really what you need to treat yourself like. And then you need to also have the patience to see those things through and not be like, oh, I tried it for 2 days, it didn't work, it sucks. Because that's just immaturity. So I don't want to make like a big deal out of just a little thing, but I'm using this as a good reminder to that this kind of crap is going to keep happening. Different types, and people either live or fail on their Overwatch esports career or anything else that they do, with depending on how they respond to this adversity. So get used to it and develop yourself in how you respond to the stuff. Would be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the scrim, I think I kind of boomed more than I normally do, because like I had recently put like a whole lot of work into my Sojourn, and I only got to play 3 maps in this scrim, and only one of them like I seriously got to play Sojourn on. So like it was kind of sad to have that, and then on top of that, like I'm not hitting as many shots as I want to be, because maybe my positioning's not optimal, or I'm not being patient, or their movement is just better than most people we normally
So
play
you're
with.
not starting 100% then?
No.
Okay.
That's like part of why I'm trying to like dial in, because I think between me and the other hitscan DPS player that was the sub last year, it's still like close, I think, for the coach to call, and he was on the team last year, so I think there's like seniority favoring a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better, not just for myself, but also because I just don't want to give the coach a choice. Like I just want to be the starter. So.
Sure. But you got it. Here's what you got to be able to do. Here's what you got to be able to do. You have to want to be better. You have to really desire more than anything else to be better. And at the same time, the paradox has to be that you have to accept the fact that there is a very real chance that you're going to lose that matchup. And you need to mentally go through that right now, at some point this week or next week or whatever, and think, okay, what is going to be my thought process through that? Like, am I going to accept that? What's going to be my next step? Because you cannot like let something like that blindside you and just totally take the wind out of your sails.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that if you can't accept that fact, not only if it happens will it cripple you, but also at this point in time when you really need to be focused, instead of focusing on just playing Sojourn and improving at Sojourn, you're going to have at the back of your mind that nagging fear that you've never addressed.
Yeah.
You need to embrace it right now, so that you don't need to worry about it anymore. I'm not saying that it's never going to be something that crosses your mind. Of course it is, but it's there. You could suck. You could absolutely crap the bed and not improve and not learn. Even after this review, 100% a possibility. Can you come to terms with that? Are you still going to want to play the game? Are you still going to enjoy the next, semester?
Yeah.
And if not, like, then what needs to change? Like, how do you need to change your thought process or your situation? Because like you will never be free to play as best as you can as long as you're chained by fear of, oh no, what if, fill in the blank. Because even if you make the job here, what's going to happen next? Somebody else is going to come up and compete for your job, or you guys are going to be in a little tournament and you're really going to have to perform and all the pressure's on and you're going to choke. So it's like, you just have to be okay with just looking like a total bozo. And as soon as you can look like a total bozo, the irony is that you probably won't look like a total bozo that often.
Yeah.
But does that make sense? I don't want to get too dramatic with this, but I do think that you're in a unique position to like learn a lot about the competitive mindset here. And I think this is like, it's an opportunity not to pass, because even if you move on from Overwatch, become a boring business dude, This kind of stuff is like super good life skills.
Oh
Super
no,
good.
I'm a jazz musician, so like this
Oh,
applies
really?
everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Then,
so,
then you 100% are gonna get a lot
yeah,
out of this. Yeah.
yeah.
Gonna be all whiplash on you. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's actually, I think, a great movie. In terms of
It's good, yeah.
it's Overwatch. There's a lot to learn from Overwatch from that movie, I will
So
say.
one thing specifically for this map
Yep.
is, and you'll kind of probably notice it, but when it comes to off angling
Yep.
on this point specifically, like I'm kind of lost. Like I don't
You
know.
you look lost. You already
Yeah,
look
I don't
lost.
know where
But
I should be playing.
okay, but see, stop right there. I appreciate this because this is the kind of stuff that's going to make you look like a total ass. But this is exactly what you need to be doing. Because how do you know if this is a bad or a good off angle?
Um, I think
That's it. That's
if
it. You know, that's kind of it, right? The hesitation
yeah,
there, right? You don't know for sure, right? So there
yeah,
are like I've almost 10,000 hours in coaching this game, and so I know what I'm looking for when I'm looking for an off angle. But even I might be wrong. See, I'm thinking like, this is bad because I have a couple of objective measures which I'm looking for when I'm looking for an off angle. But maybe there's something that I'm not thinking all this through. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think this is a good enough off angle because you don't need to hard angle when you're playing Sojourn this comp. You just need an angle to where you can deny that ram consistent cover or deny the make consistent coverage. So you see right here, he doesn't have consistent cover. You can easily build rail and you also have your cover. So if he starts to poke you, easy tuck, right? Perfect.
yeah,
This is the type of angle that you're looking for. But this is really important. Maybe your angle here has some situation when it's good. Maybe this is an angle that you take when you have ult, right? You Lucio speed in, you slide in, and now you have this ridiculous off angle with ultimate. I don't know. I haven't coached this map long enough to know for sure. And if you're going to go out here trying this stuff, that's a really good habit to get into. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it make sense what we're looking for with off angle and what I was talking about limit testing?
Yeah, I think I need to find more distinction between like off angles just in the neutral and then off angles when we're trying to engage with Sojourn, because I think you'll see here I jump up here, which
This
is
is
like an
insanity.
alt off angle or something like that. But
this is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane. But the funny thing is this isn't even too bad if it's timed well, and that seems to be something that at least in this team environment that you're doing relatively well, right? Your RAM is committing. You're not, their enemy team is not really in a position to really turn around and focus you without dying to your Ram May, right? And even then, you also have your Lucio pocket as well. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is too aggressive. I think this is too easy to isolate, but this could be something to continue to experiment with Lucio pocket and see how it goes.
I agree.
I think my only nitpick here really, by the way, really nice disruptor shot as well. My only nitpick here is that like hit the shot. You know what I'm saying? Hit the shot.
Yeah.
You chickened out. Hit the shot. Do it. Do it. Let the voices win. You see, this is when they're pushing in here. You could slide up here, right? You could absolutely.
Yeah, you saw me thinking about it.
I was, like I said, let the voices win. Because I unironically think that you're in a better position there than you are here, because what's the problem with your position here?
They're all looking at me.
Right. So you're not only not in an off angle, but also consider your proximity, right? You're in real danger of everything being a problem here. Nice shot. Yeah, I mean, this whole fight is just total chaos because they rotated and then you didn't adjust. Nice shot. Yeah, okay.
I eventually realized that the angle Revan is playing, which is just like this soft off angle on this left platform that you were kind of showing.
Yep.
I realized he was playing there a lot, so I think I'm gonna start doing that. Cause like I was like, well, maybe that is just the safest angle to actually still get impact.
So your challenge though is to not just memorize positions like this, but to ask like what does this position, why does this position, or why does this position make more sense?
Yeah, because it's dynamic. It's not static.
Right. But what is but also what does that mean?
It means that this angle might not always be the best. There's specific reasons that it's the best. So
what are you looking? Why is it the best though? What are you looking for in an off angle of Sojourn and this mirror or the Junker Queen mirror for that matter? Or honestly, even dive mirrors to some extent, really.
I'm not sure. That's kind of part of the issue.
Then think about it and come up with the answer. What does your gut tell you? Because this is where we could dig. I know you have more information than you think you do.
I think I prefer to be shooting at people that aren't looking at me because it's a lot easier to hit shots, and I'm also safer over here, I think.
Why?
because I have this cover like in front of
Sure.
me to the right, and I
So let's give you the equivalent of like
am
this is
farther
what you were
away.
doing earlier, right? And this is what you're
Yeah.
doing here. What's the difference between these two angles?
One's further away
Okay.
and it's kind of out of touch, I think.
Almost too far, too isolated.
Yeah.
So like it's not only an off angle, it feels like you're off on Narnia, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Something that you might do with a Soldier 76 when you're trying to like, run the lobby, right? Okay, so maybe not as hard of a flank with Sojourn in this matchup, okay?
Yeah.
This one may be a little bit more consistent cover as Sojourn. And to be honest with you, those are really the only two differences that matter to me. That's it. Like, kind of look at what, like we were saying, like what Darth Revan's doing over here, Like, this is not really a position where she can be pushed, She's also not totally isolated from her team. And any rotation that your team makes, that she's in a position to push as well, right? Now, obviously, it's not like you could have done the same thing here. You guys were retaking space. But yeah, something to consider. Do you see another problem about this angle?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to like follow up on anything. I'm also still too far from my team, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I want to point out that I appreciate you trying this, and I think this is something you should absolutely be trying in scrim blocks. Like giving it a shot, seeing how it goes. And then, but then you need to like find something. Like you can't just try something and be like, all right, that was bad, that was good. You need to just try something and be like, okay, why was that bad? What did we learn from that? Okay, this didn't feel good, this didn't feel bad. Try and think about why, and then do something different next time.
Okay.
And what happens when you have ult, right? Which is exactly what the question is here. Nice disruptor shot.
Yeah, okay, so this was kind of chalked in hindsight. Like, as soon as I did this, I'm like, man, that was really risky. But I see him crouching here, and I'm thinking, like, he's going for some, like, insane, like, Sojalt play. And, like, I don't want to just let him do that. So I realized there was a better way for me to go about this.
You know what the better way to go about this is? Hit your freaking rail. You caught him by surprise. Your disruptor shot was better. You actually started to win the HP advantage here. Like, if you look at this here, you have a very clear advantage here. You have 50 HP in this guy. And not only that, but you also have a slightly, way about the same rail, I guess. So you have about the same rail. If you hit your rail here, we're not even talking about, he's dead. It's over.
Yeah.
You just missed your rail. Right?
And I think that's why I popped ult, because I was like, yeah, I need to clean this up now.
I think so too. I think so too. So is this risky? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it made sense. The idea of the play is delightful.
Yeah, that was a silly beat.
You gotta type AJ in chat. You familiar with that meme?
With the Ajax, yeah.
Yeah. That's an oldie. I actually talked with Ajax. He trialed for one of the teams I coached for back in the day.
I probably would say that if it was a team I knew, but this is the first time we've scrimmed this team, so I didn't want to like.
Yeah. No. I got you. You have to like earn it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It would be part of the innate hive mind. Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, this is kind of what we're talking about here, where that shield is useless for them, right? Because it doesn't block your damage.
Yeah.
The angle that your Bapman may hold, if they want to avoid or even may wall it, well, you're still going to be shooting here. So yeah, you guys seem all in on the Sojourn with Lucio with Sojourn idea.
Yeah, we've been talking about it lately.
Sure. Now I want to point out something again. Revan over here cooking. One of the weaknesses of doing stuff like this, though, is that any damage that he takes, if he doesn't have a Lucio or a Bap within LOS, it's permanent. So if you hit even just a body shot rail on this guy, or May hits like one icicle, he has to rotate all the way around behind. Massive downtime. That's kind of why being on those hard flanks isn't always the most optimal play with Sojourn. You don't have the sustain to hold the angle, right? Whereas an angle like this, you don't even need your Lucio with you, honestly, because what can your Bap do, right? He's here, and then you're right back, right? Super easy. So that's something that you guys might want to consider for your macro is like, when does our Lucio actually need to be with their Sojourn? It's usually when the angle is deeper.
Yeah,
Outside of Bapelos.
we've talked about that. We've talked about like having Lucio go with Sojourn is more when you're like trying to take an angle versus an angle you already have. Like you don't really
Sure.
need your
Sure.
Lucio on it.
Sure.
But
To me,
I think I just didn't realize she was there.
yeah,
Like with
yeah,
me.
yeah. That's fine. To me, it's just mostly Bapelos more than anything else. If you have Bapelos, you don't need Lucio as much.
That's fair.
Especially if you guys are looking to push. Because like I look at this right now, it's like you guys have beat. I really think that your Lucio might want to be controlling this space here. Because this is like when we're like, I know we're coaching Lucio now, but here, if your Lucio is on the wall here, this Mei is off the high, and you guys win this easily. Also, you guys need speed off of this, but from your perspective, the angle is really good. Disruptor shot is also really good. Maybe could have been a little tighter to the floor there, but honestly, it's fine. I'd be careful about this wide swing here. Nice rail. Don't really know why you slid in there, frankly.
I think I thought we were gonna.
I think you're getting impatient. I think you're getting impatient to shoot something.
Yeah, probably.
But the reality of the situation is here is that like this is fine. This is a fat Mei wall. Just hold it because they're gonna have to try and push through this, and you're gonna be on a good angle to do something about it. This is really scary. You should die here. You should have died there. It's a rail. Okay. Good initial starting position. Good disruptor shot. You hit the rail. It wasn't a headshot, but the body shot still was good. And yeah, that's it. This is like the most generic vanilla basing Sojourn play ever, but it does the job. So deepening your angle here to build up a little bit of rail charge. Here's the deal with the disruptor shot. There's no super urgency.
Yeah.
So if you don't see immediately where they're rotating to, which you didn't, you don't have to use it immediately. Hit the shot, 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 hit the shot. Good. Good trade. Suffering. Good slide. Probably would have held rail there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because if I had it for this Sojourn, that'd be big.
That's it. Because then this is where you go for your rail disruptor shot combo, right?
Yeah,
Go bam, bam.
agreed.
Yeah. Said it's just disruptor shot. She drops away from it. But yeah, I think initial starting positioning, you know, there's not a whole lot here because there's not a lot of movement required. So it's not like you were like, oh, this is so good. I'm so proud of you. You held a good position and just shot. And so we can talk a little bit about maybe a little bit more patience with the disruptor shot, a little bit more patience with rail. Once you have it, don't just chunk it on the tank. But I'm more concerned with like your like philosophy with taking that opening angle and deciding what to do with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Any questions?
No. I think I'm good. I was gonna say here we switched it up on this point because we have a match tonight and we're playing a team that only plays Brawl. So we swapped to the Orisa, and I'm not quite like familiar playing with an Orisa yet because we haven't really done it.
Doesn't really affect you all that much, frankly.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah. Now, this is one thing you need to be considering here. I know that this is like the mother of all disruptor shots. Like, my goodness, right?
Yeah.
But do take this opportunity if you can. Like, once you're here, to swing wide here and see, because this is what you're looking for, right? Like, look at what Revan's doing, right? This is what you need to be doing, if you can here. And then if there's nobody here, this is where you could even sneak forward to here and peek here, and then slide out if you want to. This is just really scary, right? She's not even aiming for you. She's not even aiming for you. She's just throwing it down the choke.
Spamming, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like she has no idea, and that's exactly why you don't want to be there. I understand that off-angling on this point is really difficult, though. I think it's a poorly designed map. I like this map, but I don't like this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't actually mind this too much. You could rotate through here, and if you're really trying to struggle to break the choke, this is the angle, the safer angle to take. But yeah, this could work too, especially if you hit that shot. And then now, he's wasting time. He's wasting time. Slide away. Yep. Oh my days, lamp. Thank you. Slide. Do it. And here you could slide to where? So you're stuck
To
here.
to the high ground, I think, behind me.
Yeah, you could. You could also just slide across to here.
Yeah, that too.
Slide over to a deeper angle where it's like, you know, if they push you, that I can just drop and waste time. Yep. No, I think you played this fight well. I think your Lucio trolled, frankly. I don't know how your Lucio died, but it is what it is. Okay. And now I'm going to start asking questions, so hold on.
Okay.
Why are you with your team here? It's not a bad plan. I'm just curious to hear your reasoning.
Our plan that we called was to take this fight top left and engage with Sojourn or BAP window.
Okay.
So I was just playing with my team here, just because that was mostly the call.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What do you need to be aware of when you're stacked with your team here?
I guess stuff like the wall vortex orb combo type thing.
Also ultimates at this point in time as well.
Yeah.
Blizzard beat, you know, the usual. So be careful. So even when you're stacked with your team here, where should you have already rotated to?
Left.
Left. Right. Create a different angle. That's the sight line of glory right there.
Yep.
Because it already makes it difficult for them to decide. Oh, she was looking for mail. You canceled that, didn't you? Yeah, you did. But you could see how unbelievably scary that was. Like, that was moments from immediate disaster. Nice shot, though. That's how these VOD reviews go. You were moments away from immediate disaster. Nice shot. Everything that you know and love almost came crashing down around you. Well done. Well done. That was good. Really, really professionally done. Okay. Yep. Now, this is cheeky. Because what's the difference between this angle taken here, here, versus this angle taken here, and here? It doesn't feel like much, but it's important.
They're starting the fight closer to us. So
right.
It's easier for them to walk on me.
Right. This feels like you're a lot more vulnerable than you were in the previous angle. So
yeah.
Risky, and maybe something to consider when. All right. So think about it this way. What should you do here?
I'm honestly not sure.
Okay. Let me theory craft something by you. Try shooting here for a little bit. See what your team does. When you're about 75, 85, 90 charge, then get cheeky with it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, just because to have extra resources.
Well, to have the one-shot threat is what we're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because what we want, we know that this is in theory risky and that you're going to get a lot of attention here. So I want you to be here as little as you possibly need to so that you don't die to that. Because the problem here is that you slid away, but really, what's stopping them from pressing Sojourn ult and running over you?
That's true. I didn't think about the Sojourn ult.
Right? So you got to be really careful about managing your slide in situations where they can push you with an ultimate, which is exactly what could happen right now. So if you are going to take a very cheeky off angle, make it worth it.
Yeah.
And to make it worth it, you need your rail.
I think my thought process here when I called that I was going to do that was I was hoping that the ROM would kind of disjoint and split to walk on me and then hope that my team could walk on their backline.
Yeah.
I was more like trying to bait them to walk on me, I guess.
Sure. But you know what makes a great bait?
That the Sojourn had her ult.
Right. What makes great bait, though, is great risk as well. So if you go here with your rail, it's not something that they could push if they want to. It's something that they have to push now. Because if they don't push you out, immediately you're going to kill somebody. Right? So bait, the best bait is the dangerous bait. And you were not dangerous enough.
Okay.
Now you might be safe because Blizz... Yeah, you're probably fine. But yeah, okay. So to simplify what we've talked about so far, look for off angles that you can hold to put constant pressure. If you're going to take a deeper angle, I would like you to have a rail, if possible, to make that risk worth the reward. Or the reward worth the risk, excuse me. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Pretty simple. I know we've talked about a lot of stuff, but that's like, if we could boil it all down. I mean, this is perfect, right? Are you at any risk of dying here? No. Do you need to go anywhere else? No. Just hold mouse one. This is like a soft angle, right? It's great.
Yeah. I'm trying to ping the floor and saying if they engage, I'm gonna walk there, but
That was really funny. Let's just enjoy that.
it kept pinging the May though.
Overwatch mechanics, I don't know how that works in Valorant, but Overwatch mechanics are a little different. So you shooting at the floor doesn't generally do a whole lot. You're killing me. Now this is what's really killing me.
Yeah, this is a really early.
What the frick? Well, not only that, but why did you give it? What are you doing? This is like look at this angle.
Yeah. I thought they were walking in. That's why I disruptor shotted it. But I still didn't need to jump off.
Remember, if they walk in, if they were to push through main right now, where would you go? You have rail. You have disruptor shot.
To the left.
Right. Exactly. You do exactly what we talked about earlier. You go for a cheeky angle and you kill somebody in the back line. That's it. You wouldn't go back to meet them on main. You just deepen your angle because it's what's available. And if they were to rotate towards you, they would run the risk of getting their head blown off. And then if they really pushed you, okay, slide out this way. Rotate back to the angle that we had in first fight.
Yeah.
So the worst crime to man is to have a defender's advantage and not to have at least an opportunity. Like, how many rails have you even gone for here, right? Like, come on. Yeah. Like, this is such a huge opportunity here. And obviously this feels messy. This is good here. Suffering. And breaking it down. Love to see it. And now it's easy peasy, and that's going to be the map. Okay, let's keep going here. Any questions so far?
No.
Notice this is very simple, not complicated, just absolutely chill and relax. Now, do you want to take a look at your tracer?
Yes.
Okay. You sound
even more lost on tracer.
Exasperated. Okay, so before we move on to tracer, what's the Sojourn takeaway? What needs to be practiced with Sojourn?
I need to dial in more on when an off angle is good versus another off angle, and also
choosing off angles. What are you looking for?
It depends on a lot of things, but generally, just like I don't even know how to explain it. It's something that's not like, unless I have rail, something that's not too risky, but I still pose a threat. But if I have rail, then I can start to take more aggressive angles.
Don't need super deep flanks. If deepening angle, flank. Good to do it. With rail. Avoid main when a soft angle is available. And I wonder if when we're talking about your Junker Queen conundrum earlier, how much of that was a misunderstanding of what you needed to be looking for in an angle?
Probably all of it, to be honest. Because I feel like the way you play into a Queen comp is entirely different than everything else, but especially a Brawl comp.
But you certainly would not be taking these crazy deep flanks unnecessarily, right?
For sure,
just these soft angles, save your slide, and just burn her down, right? Or it's harder to farm rail, but the rail matters a lot more because the rail murders a queen. So, okay. Tracer time. What does Tracer do to your current understanding?
She's like a mosquito, I feel like. She's
That's
it. In the neutral, she's just really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then a thing I've noticed, which you'll probably see here at some point, is she's good at just taking the space that people give her and then not giving it back for free.
Sure. Like the angle here, like the timing, this is good. So I'm curious, you seem so apprehensive about what to do with Tracer at the start. So what in particular has been cause for concern?
You're asking what threats I have?
Well, I'm asking when I ask, okay, do you want to look at your tracers? You sound like, I just told a funny joke. Why?
I just don't have that much experience on Tracer, and I think because I come from Valorant, I'm a lot more confident playing slower. Yep. Not necessarily because I can't play fast, but just because
more experience with it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, just Tracer dies so fast sometimes. It's I'm not sure when I can be cheeky like this and when I can't.
Well, let's talk about this because you make a pretty important, I wouldn't say a mistake, but just it's something that you need to be aware of right here, where you are pressuring a little early right now, just based off of when and where your team wants to pressure. So if you look at this here, where is your team really want to hit him in the mouth?
When they walk out the choke.
Right. So once your Pharah actually has a better angle, Kiri has a better angle, Doomfist has an actual engage. You're pressuring now. It's not a bad time because I guess your Pharah is kind of spamming some rockets in there and your Doomfist is, but nothing is really directly happening. And why is that potentially dangerous for you right now?
Because I could get almost deleted by the Kiri and
Let me
North Soldier.
Well, let me give you context. All right. So he's over here, but Lucio, Kiriko, Soldier, May. See a potential problem here?
Yeah.
4 members out of the enemy team
are
looking at you right now. And they're doing it for free because there's nothing really else to look at. And so here, you actually get bullied out of the angle. Not bullied out of the angle, but you turn your attention this way. When actually right now is when you actually could deepen your angle if you'd like to. Because now crap's happening. You see what I'm saying? So actually shooting the May here is not bad. It's an angle, it's fine. But there's a lot of confusion, a lot of like, oh no, and now you're gonna be so late. Oh my days, you're gonna be so late. Right? And that's the problem here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So try to find that balance between constantly pressuring, but do not take any unnecessary risks until you are playing a 5-man game.
Okay.
And that should be very easy to do in a team environment. Because if your communication is good or even decent, there should be no guesswork about what's going on. Oh, bless me. That being said, I think overall the angles that you're taking were fine. Get rolled. Yeah.
Yeah, I got diffed.
You got diffed. Tracer's a very difficult character.
I don't think I needed to fight that necessarily. I think I just.
I would have also assumed that your character would have helped you, so I understand a little bit. I think you just didn't quite know you were that low. Again, here, this is fine. Be careful. He's probably going to Helix this here. I know I would. So just be careful of that chip damage because that would be very annoying. Now, why does this have a chance of actually working?
Because Kiri's looking at the Ramatra and they're getting pressured from the rest of the team.
Wait, she didn't even have Suzu. And you know why she didn't have Suzu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Good. That's a pretty nice pulse bomb as well.
Thank you.
Now you don't have your recall, so be careful. I would not do this. You have made one of the criminal sins of Tracer, which is a Tracer sandwich, briefly. Where you don't have, because you moved unnecessarily instead of just holding your angle. When she ice blocks here, there's no urgency to chase this Kiriko. Instead, conserve your blinks, hold the angle here, maybe even play inside here. Don't turn your back to the Mei right here. This is extremely dangerous doing this right here.
Yeah.
This is how you die. Because by reacquiring the target, you don't see the Mei in time and you get your head blown off. Make sense?
Yeah.
Avoid the middle of the fight, even briefly, unless you absolutely have to. Okay. Well, this has been pleasant. Tracking's not bad. And that's it. We have more time. You want to look at another code?
Sure, but we got absolutely rolled on every other map, so it won't be as high quality. But
that's okay. That's okay.
I don't even know which one. Okay, here we'll do this one. Here we go. So that's King Zero. I play Sojourn for defense first round.
Which one would you like to look at? Attack or defense?
Well,
even just a section?
The attack we got full held, so let's look at defense.
All right, sounds good. No more Tracer?
No.
Okay, Tracer then. Tracer notes really quickly then. What needs to be practiced? Obviously, we only saw a few fights, but maybe some things to work
on. Timing on engagements.
Timing on engagements. Be careful about committing too much attention before your team pressures. What else?
Also just giving up angles that I don't need to.
Hold angles. Unnecessary repositioning. If you can simply hold an angle. Now, I think I know why. Like you blinked across the Mei because you're like, I got to go help the Kiriko, right? But You just got to be understand like what you can't see is also very scary. Okay, let's take a look here.
So I have a question about this first setup. So my team was telling me to set up here, and they were gonna hold for the like choke to the I guess the right of statue from where we are.
Yep.
But I was thinking almost like playing around hotel like on point and holding the right side of the choke so they could hold the left side would be
Here?
yeah like right here.
Yeah, this is fine.
I was thinking that was stronger than this because I feel like I can get spammed out of this really easily and that's what happens. Kind of because I misplayed it. I didn't stick to my cover, and I just got deleted.
It's high risk, high reward. And for anything high risk, high reward to work, it has to have perfect execution. That's just the truth for Overwatch across the board. So when you talk about this here, is there benefit to being here? Yes, you're gonna have a very consistent angle on the backline from here that cannot be cut off by cover. Like here, for you to peek, it requires a little bit of a deeper angle, but this Baptiste literally cannot hide from you, right? It's not possible. The problem is that is the enemy team engaged right now?
Not yet.
Not quite, right? So your Mei can shoot Ram, they can shoot a little bit of Ram, but the enemy team hasn't really committed. And so again, it's like the Tracer conundrum, right? Where if we go through the list here, it's this 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you have 4 people to able to shoot you in the head, and you're still peeking. So it's I think I agree. Oh, cover, I could have played my cover better. But I honestly like I'm wondering if you can even really peek much at all prior to this. You might farm the Ram shield and farm the Ram a little bit, right? But because if you can't see Ram shield and you can't see Ram, then they're not committing anyway.
Yeah.
So and then obviously like things like disruptor shot make it really difficult. But yeah, I mean that's all there really is to it. It's exactly what we talked about with the Tracer thing. It's not something that you have to overthink, but it's absolutely something that you have to overthink when you're on that deep of an angle.
Okay.
I want you to roll the dice here. Yes, thank you.
Just let the shot go on Lucio, or
no. Yes, okay. This is what I want you to do. It's exactly what we talked about in Samoa, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of space. You don't really have an angle. You have rail. Cook. Just next time hit the shot. That's all. It's a good play. Even this is a good play here. As long as they're not giving you any attention, it's just a good play. You just got diffed. That's all. The only other thing I'd say here, that like tiny little detail, is like you're smoking crack for not grabbing the mini health back here.
Yeah.
On the way through. I also think here, too much time spent shooting him. You only need 1 bullet. So you hit like 2 or 3 bullets. You don't. The important thing with rail here is I don't know if you've seen my other Sojourn sessions where we always talk about like hit the 1 bullet, right, before you rail. Because that makes it essentially a one shot. The problem with hitting more than 1 bullet, especially when you're taking this deep of a flank, is you give him time to react. You see this? So then he pivots. And why is that important? Because my brother turns, crouches, and strafes.
Yeah.
So the first action should be 1 bullet rail. Immediately. Because you cannot give him time to turn. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you're making the mechanics of this crazy, super sexy, delightful play very, very difficult. So whenever you're on a really hard off angle, I might just 1 tap and then rail instantly. And if you think that they've taken any damage at all, then don't even shoot. Just rail instantly.
Okay.
That's more of a micro thing, but it's worth pointing out. Okay. Cheeky. You see what we talked about with timing, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it here, which is good, right? You're like, I know that they could just all poke me out. You guys get rolled, but this makes a lot of sense. I like your execution of this angle much better than the previous.
Okay.
And then here, where should you rotate to?
Like in the hallway to the left of me, I think.
Obviously, deal with the Sojourn first, right? Like focus on your movement, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But then, that needs to be the angle that you take. Positioning this fight was very reasonable. You didn't hit the shots, but the positioning was reasonable. Okay. Now, actually, you know what? I don't want to just blow past it and say it was reasonable. Let's actually talk about why it was reasonable. Coach yourself. Why was taking a hard flank here understandable?
Because I know that they're gonna play this corner, and
Sure.
if we're fighting this corner, this gives us like a 90-degree like split
Sure.
fight.
But we just talked about in Samoa where you don't want to be taking necessarily hard flanks unnecessarily. Question is there a soft off angle from here? No,
What do you
right?
mean?
Like,
Yeah.
like if your team is fighting here, where's your soft off angle?
Oh no, there isn't one.
There isn't one. So you roll the dice, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah,
Something to keep in mind. So if you want to roll the dice when you're at a massive disadvantage positioning wise and there's no angle that you can take, go for it. Works for me.
okay.
That should help you choose when to go for those harder flanks and when not to.
I was lost as fuck in this fight.
Roll the dice.
Yeah,
If you don't roll the dice, you're going to lose this fight. Right? Because
yeah.
where's your soft off angle?
On the right.
No, that's a trick question. It's nowhere.
Okay,
Because this is not a soft off angle, right?
yeah.
It's a hard flank. But you know what? It's good. You need to do it. You needed to do it.
Yeah, I think I realized that in my own VOD review afterwards.
Yep.
I was like right here. I was like I could have just walked. I think
Yep.
it would have been a little bit late, but I still could have done it.
Right. I think the main thing for you and your team is just you need to be able to recognize when your positioning is trash and then take the angles that you need.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, I'm not saying like when your positioning is trash as in like you're an idiot player, but as in like there isn't a good option available to anybody, right? So
Yeah.
they'd be like, hey, Lucio, can we try to take an angle here? Because I like this choke is brutal, right? And that's going to happen all the time, right? So, anytime, I mean, heck, even here, like right here where it's like you're on attack here, you're going to be spending a lot of time fighting for high ground. You can't just sit here and passively you have to try and roll the dice a little bit. So again, the rule is if you do not have a good soft off angle with Sojourn, you need to try and roll the dice a little bit. And you'd love to do it with a rail. You'd love to do it with an ultimate. And you definitely need to do it off of your team's timing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's actually go back and let's edit some of our notes here. So we're going to go back to the Sojourn notes. Basically all the same stuff, right? But there's a couple of things that we want to add here. Avoid main when a soft off angle is available. But when do we soft off angle? When do you deep flank? You tell me.
Deep flank when I have rail and they're not looking at me. Soft off angle when I don't have rail.
When you have rail, extra attractive. Also, deep angle when there is no soft angle available. Have to play high risk. High reward. And that's why a lot of teams don't necessarily hold that first choke on King's Row all the time. Not because it's bad, but because a lot of teams are risk averse, where they're like, why would I hold a more risky position when there's just an easy, still competent angle on the floor? Again, it doesn't mean that position is bad. I'm not in the Sojourn Ram May meta enough to know whether it's bad or not. I think it's fine. I think it's good. But you got to ask yourself, are you a more high risk, high reward person that looks for those angles more often? Because this is where I think you can kind of like develop your own play style. Because there are objectively bad times to take a deep flank and there's objectively good times to take a deep flank. But there's a lot of gray area, as you probably realized. So that's up to you. That's up to you. Because that stuff is not objective. That is totally subjective. It's up to you. A situation where you guys are down like one ultimate, is that a high risk, high reward fight for you? Is it a fight where you have a soft off angle, but it's like it's not that good, you know? Is that a deep flank for you? You know, I don't know. Like you kind of see what I'm saying. Like that's kind of like how much does it also depends on like what's your Lucio comfortable with. Your Lucio really like contributing to team fights on main, then that kind of gate keeps you a little bit. Does your Lucio really like you guys really revolve your macro around Lucio Sojourn off angles? Very similar to how Timeless, who's the recent Flash Ops thing? They did a lot of that, and the Flash Ops, right? The team that won lot of. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I forgot. Never mind. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say a lot of Lucio Sojourn off angling, honestly, to a fault at some points. But yeah, anyway. Any questions? We've talked about a lot, but any questions?
No.
Okay, no questions.
No.
All right.
Not right now. I'll let you
Okay.
know if I have any.